Hi, I'm Pam with Crafttown Fabrics, and today we're going to talk about a 60-degree ruler and some of the things that we can do with it. At the end of the video, there will be links for the supplies that we have used. So to get started, there are different manufacturers of the rulers. I have used the Marty Michelle for our samples today. There's also Creative Grids ruler that's got the non-slip dots on the back that's also nice. A 60-degree ruler, to begin with, it's equal on all three sides. The Marty Michelle also has the line down the middle so that you can make your 30-degree triangles to put on the end if you're making like the, I think it's the 1,000 pyramid quilts where you just use the triangles for that. There are marks on here also on the side that shows the finished side of the triangle block. Also, the 1/4 inch seam allowance is included in the ruler. So to get started, I have a piece of our border fabric here that you can cut your triangles, and whenever you cut them apart and put them together, it makes a hexagon. Behind me is some samples that we will look at the end of the video. But to get started, to cut my strips, this strip I measured between these two red lines to find my center point because I wanted this even around. So after I got my measurement, I cut my two strips. Now I have cut my strips, and I have also starched my strips, just because whenever you cut these triangles, you're going to have bias edges and they will stretch. So after I cut my strips, I am going to layer them so that I can cut two at the same time. You need to match up your print, and you can take a pen and just stick it in a point of your print and find that print. Stick down through there, kind of hold it, and get it where you want. Now I'm going to straight edge this edge over here, just so I'll have a good starting point. Now, you're going to take your ruler there. It's trimmed off up here so that you can get your seams lined up whenever you get ready to sew them together. Line that up from corner to corner. Now, whenever you turn your ruler, you're going to have different prints. Stack them in the same stack so they won't get mixed up. Now, if you wanted to, you can certainly fussy cut it where it is the same print, if you prefer. But you're going to have to allow extra yardage for that. Let's show you what we got here. Take these, put them around so that you can see. Now there's your hexagon shape. That's straight. See how the lines, whenever you sew that, you'll want to match these points so that whenever you get that together, it'll flow all the way around. Now your center hole will not be there once you sew that together. These are offset so that this is where you'll start your seam allowance. Okay. Now this one will look different, a little different, because you had your ruler turned the other way to cut these. Now, whenever you sew these together, you would think that you would sew pairs together, but you can't. It won't work that way. You would sew this pair together, press, and then sew this one, so that you would have two halves and then sew the two halves together. Okay? It's makes an interesting design. So let me show you how you cut your 30 degree. If you wanted to put that on the side, like on our placemats, you can double your fabric. Remember this center line here? Now there's a seam allowance included in that, so you'll want to line that up on your fabric, and you want that seam allowance in there, or else you'll be short. Then you'll add your 30 degree. Okay, now let's cut the other side. And again, don't forget your seam allowance on your ruler for your center. Look at that. And as you can see, it'll go to each side. So you would do your halves, sew them together, then you would sew each end to opposite sides and put the block together. Now I want to show you some other things with some different fabrics that you can make with this ruler. Different sizes of borders make different, the prints in it make it look different. Here's one I've put together. It's a lot wider border, but as you can see, your design isn't always going to be the same unless you cut it to where it is the same, which is called fussy cutting. That one I just put together just for purposes to show you what it looks like. That one is going in, these would be going out. So whenever you flip your ruler to cut, it's going to change the direction of your print, as you can see in this one. The apples are on the outside, the apples are on the inside on this one. There's a lot of fun things that you can do with it, but you can see the difference in the two. Now there's also another fun pattern you can do. You can take strips, varying strips, sew them together and make what's called a spider block. And as you can see, it changes. You've got red, white, and red. Or you can sew strips together, cut them, and make it where it's just a solid strip around with two lights on the outside. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this. Play with it, have fun with it. It's a good ruler to have just to do different things with. Now over here on our wall, we have made some samples of placemats. With our first border, we put that together and added our 30 degrees on the side, and then just took an extra strip of the border here and then added a small border. Nice, springy looking. We use yellow, green. The other print here, this is a runner that we used. We used our 60 degree on the end, added a longer piece. Now these two borders here are same borders, but were cut different. And you can see how it changed it in the center. Where that was together, this one's got a middle in it, and where this you kind of lost some of that on this one. And then there's another idea over there for three of them put together for a runner. So there's lots of possibilities that you can do with this ruler. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and hopefully you'll try it and have some fun with it too. Thank you.